Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Friday. This is episode 39, live production of Client by Client. Want to thank all of you guys for your support here while I'm live, your ratings and review on the show. It means a lot. We can see downloads going up, and that's always fun to see. So, reaching more coaches, reaching more people, hopefully impacting more lives. So, you rating and reviewing, telling your friends about this, it means a lot. In less than or in 30 seconds from now, we're going to start today's show, and this is episode 39. The official production of this will go live on June 8th, so you can tune into that. And today on the podcast, what I shared was 3 hand-raising posts that you can rip off to get clients in the next 3 days. So if you want to start out next week with some leads and go into next week with some clients, be sure to go and check out episode 30. Get those hand-raising posts, steal them, use them, and use them to create some conversations. If you're here live, drop live. If you're watching the replay, comment replay. Let's get this show on the road, and let's bring this to life. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Before we get into today's show, let's talk about what happened in the last episode of Client by Client. What I shared was everything to do post-sale. You got the client we're assuming is happy. They've made their payment. They are now on the other side. What needs to happen during that first day, that first week, hell, that first year in order for them to be a happy paying client that's getting results and telling their friends, family, and the world about you and your coaching business and your services? This is how you become the go-to coach. This is how you make it easier to get clients over the longevity of your career. So right now, if you're actively getting clients and you don't have a system, or maybe you don't even know quite what to do after the sale, I shared with you everything that I do in the Get Clients program, what we direct our students to do. So be sure to backtrack to episode 38, and that way you can understand exactly what to do post-sale to create a happy paying client that turns into a success story that refers you out like gangbusters. In today's episode, I want to share with you guys everything I've learned about how to get clients from your Facebook group. So if you have a Facebook group that you are the admin and that you own and that you use for lead nurturing, this is the episode for you. This is not the episode for how to use someone else's Facebook group to get clients. If you're interested in that, I can share some ideas and some strategies, some things I've done and what some of my students are currently doing. But what we're focused on today specifically is your own group. So before we get into the 5 tips I have for you for getting clients from your Facebook group, I think it's important, and I wish more mentors I've followed and subscribed to in the past did this, so that I wasn't led so astray, unknowing and unbeknownst to them, because of focus. So here's what I want to say is, maybe right now you don't have a Facebook group. That's totally cool. You have permission. You have my permission, and give yourself permission to not tune into today's episode or to glean ideas that you can use in the method that you have for getting clients right now. What if you don't have a group? This episode is going to be totally helpful for you. However, the caveat that I really want to communicate is that if you have a way that's working for getting clients, you don't need a Facebook group. Do not use this as a distraction for going and setting up a Facebook group if you right now don't have a method that's if you don't have a method right now that's working for converting and getting clients. So if you have an application funnel like we talked about in episode 37, or you're using Instagram or a social media platform and it's working for getting you clients, this will give you some ideas for how to navigate what's working for you, but you do not need to be distracted with another way to get clients, because the last thing I want is for this to sound helpful, and it is, but for you to stop focusing on the one thing that you're optimizing or that's working right now just because you're hearing a shiny object. So in light of maybe turning away listeners and subscribers, I want to give you permission to double down on what's already working. If you don't have a Facebook group and you don't have anything that's working, maybe this is some food for thought that you can add in to decide if a Facebook group is the right thing for you, short, mid, and long term. But this is really catered to you if you already have a Facebook group and you want to get more clients from it. Disclaimers aside, and you doubling down on your focus now being stated, let's hop in and talk about my 5 tips for how to get clients from your Facebook group. the first thing that you need to get right when it comes to getting clients from your Facebook group, and this is not like an actual tactic that you're going to go and get, it's going to get you clients, but when you get this right, it makes it easier for your Facebook group to convert. And what that really is getting the name right of your online business. I'm going to start that one over because I'm distracted over here. There we go. And this dump truck outside. The first tip for getting clients from your online business will impact everything that you do. And so while this isn't a direct tactic for you to go out and it's going to get you a client today, if you get this right, your group will convert better and convert better organically, which is you have to get the name of your group right. So we're talking about nurturing groups on Facebook, not client delivery, not for any other use or purpose. And in order for Facebook to be able to send you people that they think would want your group and to suggest your group to the right people, it's important that you get the name right. This is an area a lot of people, a lot of coaches want to get creative with their naming. And what I would tell you is that creative is not the mode to be in when it comes to naming your Facebook group. And where I want for you to land instead is clear. If someone's going to go on Facebook and type in a couple words because they're looking for things relevant to whatever they're searching in this case, you and your coaching, what words would they be typing in? The more clever you get in the naming of your Facebook group, the less odds, is that how you say it? The more you choose to get creative in the naming of your Facebook group, the less you're going to be able to capitalize on Facebook organic and just organic marketing in general, pulling in you new prospects. So it's important that you get the name right. If I had it my way, you would have what you do in the title of your Facebook group, and there would be nothing creative or clever. So what you'll notice is that the biggest Facebook groups in your space are named more clearly and they're not as creative. And anybody who has a creatively named Facebook group usually has a ton of authority or celebrity behind them in their space. And as a part of them, right? They're well known is what I'm trying to say. And so therefore they can post on Instagram or Snapchat or send an email to their list and they're going to get tens of thousands of people's attention and to go and take an action. So they wind up with a group of 20, 30, 40K right out the gate. If you don't have that sort of authority or celebrity to your name, AKA you're not that well known, it makes it even more important that your name is clear of your Facebook group. And even if you have micro celebrity, or authority in your space and to your name, I think it's still important that your name is super clear. So the first thing you have to get right to get clients from your Facebook group is the name. If you choose to make it clever, too broad, too general, and not specific and not problem, pain focused as much as possible, this is going to make it harder for you to attract new prospects in. So you have to get the naming of it right. A really cool coach that I follow, her name's Maria Wendt. She has a great framework for looking at this. Her Facebook group is Successful Female Entrepreneurs. I think it's adjective, noun. And so if you can describe your group like that, I think that puts you in a good place. So successful, she wants people who are like high performers, either are aspiring for success or already successful. Female, she specifically helps women. And then entrepreneurs, these are business oriented, right? So she has one of the biggest groups. I think it's over 100,000 people. And so while the name of the group in and of itself isn't going to draw you tens of thousands of people immediately, over time, the more clear your Facebook group is, the more chances you have to become well known, to become the skyscraper, so to say, in terms of, and in comparison to other Facebook groups. So you have to get the name right. Follow Maria's adjective, noun, or just make your group name as simple and clear as possible. Clear is better than creative. That's thing number one. The second tip for how to get clients from your Facebook group that you have to get right in your group is the about/description of the group. I think that this is such a low hanging fruit for so many coaches listening to this right now, and for you listening to this right now. And I think it's so overlooked. So if you have a Facebook group already, I want you to open up the description and I want you to ask yourself, is it still relevant? Is it still up to date? Or does it need to evolve like you and your business has? The second thing is I think a lot of people put their about description, they make it so much about them that they miss out on what people are walking around thinking, which is about themselves. So your description of your group needs to be outwardly focused to the goals, the pains and problems of your market. It needs to be as little about you and about the group as possible and more about what the group's going to do for them and what life looks like for people before they're in the group and when they're after it. So a couple episodes back, we talked about the gap. In episode 35, we talked about making your marketing sticky. And the third tip I gave you was to create a gap. We talked about your prospects are on one side of the cliff. They're staring at the other side of like the cliff or the Grand Canyon. There's a big space in between them. They need help navigating. And this is what creates really good marketing is when you understand where they're at right now, what frustrations they currently have that are turning into fears. And then on the other side of where they want to be, what do they immediately want right now? And then where do they aspire to be long-term? If you've done that exercise already, or you're in the Leverage Coach Facebook group and you've already done this exercise, you've done the chasm, the transformation chamber, then take that and add that into your about description. This is about them understanding the journey and creating a gap in between where they're at and where they want to be that makes them want to get the help that you offer inside of the group. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to get the about description right and make it as little about you as possible and make it so much about them that they're already picturing themselves in the group and that they just go stop reading and go and hit the join button. Now, there are some people who will want to read the entire description, and I think Facebook gives you 2,000 or 3,000 characters, so there's some room there. One of the things that I think is a missed opportunity in your description that I do not see enough is calls to action. You're going to have some people who find a group and they just don't join groups, but maybe if you had the right call to action or actions there, that they might still take that. And so a lot of people aren't familiar with groups. They're feel they're going to be sold. So I think that if you can, in your description, put a couple calls to action, I think that would be great. Let's take a look at what I have inside of mine right now, and I'll just read it to you aloud. Okay, let's go to overview. Not to overview, browse. Community home. Can I see my about? Let's see, questions. Group settings. This sounds better. Name and description. Yeah, here we go. All right, I'm just going to read you what I have for mine, and then you'll see how I have these calls to action in it. Welcome to Leverage Coach, the only community for high-ticket coaches wanting to scale their group coaching program so you can make more money, impact, and freedom. This is the group for virtual coaches looking to get clients consistently. If you'd like to grow your online group coaching program and create the life you've been envisioning, then you're in the right place. Before you do anything else, I have a free gift for you. Insert the call to action. This is the first one. I'd like to get you a couple leads and sales flowing in. That way you can see firsthand how my stuff works. Just hit the link and message me story, and I'll send you my Grow with Stories training your way. You'll discover a simple framework and template you can use right away to generate some leads and sales and appointments on your calendar. Here's your great things ahead. Jeremy. P.S. Add me as a friend on Facebook. And then it talks about adding me as a friend. And then after some teeing up and my link, it says, get your 100K roadmap now. Sorry. It says, and whenever you're ready, here are 3 ways I can help you grow your coaching business. Get your 100K roadmap now. I just created a training and tool called the 100K Pathway for Coaches. And there's the link. Second, download GetBookedCRM. Third, work with me privately. So these are the calls to action that you guys hear me say on the show verbally or a similar flow to them. And what I do in my Facebook group is I put them at the end in my description so that if people come there and they're looking at the about section, there's the opportunity that I can get a lead or start a conversation from it, or that a coach can get a helpful resource to help them grow their business. So the other thing that you'll notice in there is how many times I'm using variations of the word coaching or other words that my industry uses. This is important in the name and it's important in the about description. So go to your about. If you have a group right now, make sure it's up to date. And also make sure that you have your calls to action, a call to action to send you a message, and then a call to action for some other resources that they can access without you being there necessarily, but that also help you to start the conversation. If you want to see what I'm doing, just go to Facebook and search Leverage Coach, and you can read my about description there. Third, whenever you set up a Facebook group or join a Facebook group, you as an admin have the opportunity to ask 3 questions. You're probably not new to this, but if you are, there's a way in your group to ask questions that people need to answer or that you would like for them to answer in order for you to approve them into your group. These questions there are 3 questions and then accepting the rules that you have for the group, which could be required or not. These 3 questions, though, you have pretty much free reign to put whatever you want. It is very common that you'll put in there what's your best email address to offer them a guide, a training, a resource of some sort. And I would recommend that you do that and that you have that tied in with your email service provider so that those leads, when you approve them, automatically go in and they start getting nurtured. A few episodes back in episode 36, I mentioned that my 5th favorite tool for my online business is a little tool called Growth Kit. It's called Group Kit that helps for... In episode In episode 36, I mentioned some of my favorite tools for my online business. I gave you 9 of them. And tip number 5 or tool number 5 was about Group Kit. This is a tool made by a couple buddies of mine that allows for you, when you approve new members in your group, they automatically get sent over to a spreadsheet or to your email service provider. It's integrated. Uh, if you have a Facebook group and you're getting more than 3 or 4 people joining every single day, this can save you a ton of time. Go to whatupjeremy.com/groupkit, one word, to get my go to whatupjeremy.com/groupkit to access that. That is my affiliate link. So when you do use that, I do get a small portion of your membership every month as a small way to pay it forward to me and to the show. And GroupKit is just amazing for allowing this process with these questions to work super smooth. So it saves and logs each answer to the question from each member so you can access it retroactively. If you try to do this through Facebook, it takes so much time. It's impossible to find some of the info. They can move the info. They can not make that available to you like they have in the past. And so I recommend, if group's going to be your way or it is your way for getting clients, that you have something in place there that when you approve it, it automatically sends them to your email service provider. Therefore, I recommend one of your questions is around what their email address is and giving them value, something of value in exchange for that, so that you can keep in contact with them, because groups are great, but it's still on Facebook, and your email list is going to be the asset that you build over a long period of time in your business. Groups are a great way for starting conversations, and they're a great way for building your email list. Probably something I should have shared at the beginning of this episode, but I think that you know why Facebook groups convert and why you might want one in your business. These questions that you ask here, if you recall back to episode 37, I shared with you how to scrap your website and what to do instead. And I shared some questions that you need on your application funnel. Your Facebook group is kind of the same. I like to have an easy question in the beginning, and the questions get a little harder as you go. So question number 1 might be a qualifier. Are you this or are you that? Mine right now, I think, is, do you coach one-on-one or in groups? And then it asks for email. And then it also asks what their Instagram handle is. That's the question I'm experimenting with right now, because I do want to grow my Instagram, and I want for people on Facebook to be in my group, in my email, and on my gram. So I ask them what their Instagram is, and I go and check them out, and I go and follow them. And now my account is filled with more people in my market. Instagram is now going to send me more people that are just like them, assuming they engage and watch my story and do all of that. And on Facebook, it's not as common, I think, to watch story, because we access it mostly from a desktop. But if they go to Instagram, they see I'm active on story. They see my reels, bada bing, bada boom. So these 3 questions, one of them minimum needs to be asking for their email. The other 2 you can get creative with and choose what serves you most for your online business. A great one that is very common to use, which is why I took it out, I might add it back in the future, is question number 3. Would you like some help getting this result in this time frame? And they put yes or no, or they put their answer there. And then you might have someone who joins the group organically without you inviting them, already asking for your help and at least curious about it. You can start a conversation with them from that and tee up them applying to book a call with you. That's tip number 3. You got to dial in those 3 questions. Fourth is hand-raising posts. A group cannot convert into conversations and clients beyond new members joining unless you nurture them and give them opportunities for them to raise their hand. So if you follow the flow right, when someone requests access to your group, that's the start of a conversation. You're going to welcome them. Bonus tip. And if they give you their email, they're going to go to your email service provider, and that should start sending emails to them that get them also responding. That's a conversation starter. But not always will they respond. Not always will they leave their email. So what I also recommend doing is creating hand-raising posts in your group that get people to raise their hand and to identify themselves as interested. In episode 5, we talked about getting your prospects to chase you. I know I'm plugging other episodes, but they're worth going back. If you want prospects chasing you, this is all about, instead of cold DMing, it's about getting them to raise their hand and show interest. Head back to that episode to understand more of that if you're curious about it or you don't know what I'm talking about. In your Facebook group posts, I think it's a great way to start conversations around your lead magnets, around your trainings, and around your intellectual property, your IP. So what that might sound like is, I'll read you a recent, 1 or 2 of these from my group, and that will give you some ideas. So a recent hand-raising post I did said, did you get a copy of my convo starters for getting new coaching clients? There's 20 comments on there of people wanting it. Another example. Um, a lot of questions here. Okay, here's another example. Maybe you did a training or a workshop for your leads or for your clients Just showed 6 coaches how to get to 15K a month using only organic strategies. Drop replay for a copy. So everyone comes and they comment replay, and those are all people that I have that I can go and start conversations with, engage with, get them these resources. Now, even if they aren't a lead or ready to work with me, they're going to see my training, maybe help, maybe get a client from it, and then start thinking the subconscious thought of, wow, I wonder what else they could help me out with. This is one thing from them. I like their vibe. What else do they have for me? And I want them thinking the same thing about you. Tip number 4, hand-raising posts. You got to give people an opportunity to raise their hand, to show interest, and use your most valuable assets, the things that you give and give value and deliver value to your clients. Use them as hand-raising posts in your nurture group and give your best stuff away for free using these hand-raising posts, and you'll never run out of leads. You do these once or twice a week. You have new conversations to start at least for 2 different days in the week. 5th, Facebook groups are great. We talked about this, but they're built on Facebook. So you're building your house on someone else's land. And what I want for you to do, it's okay if you build your house on someone else's land, but long term, you have to be building your own land on your own property. You have to be building your own building on your own property, on your own land. And what that is your email list. We pitted Facebook groups against email lists in episode, this is just the episode plug episode, isn't it? In episode 23, we talked about Facebook groups versus list building. We did a little bit of a showdown. And what I shared with you in that episode is that Facebook groups are great because you get that organic traction, but long term, you're still at the whim of the algorithm at Facebook, at Meta. And what I want for you to have long term is an asset and for you to own your audience. It's your most precious asset as an online business owner. So when it comes to Facebook groups are great, but if you've heard this narrative that I've shared with you so far, the Facebook group is the means to an end. The Facebook group is a way for me to start a conversation. The Facebook group is to get more people's eyes and ears and attention on my lead magnets and on my trainings and resources, which help them. They're engineered and built that way. And then for the folks who are ready inside of my group and inside of the percentages of people that come away in the numbers, right? In the numbers game, there's going to be a few of them who are ready right now, a few of them who are going to be ready long term. The folks who are ready right now, I've already started a conversation with when they first joined, when I invited them, if I did, when they first joined, when they raised their hand for stuff inside of my group. These are all conversation touch points. On top of that, I'm now in their email inbox. In doing so, I'm now more of an authority than I was before because they're subscribed to me. I'm in their mailbox. And if I'm talking about pains and problems, I'm hopefully hitting on the 1, 2, or 3 big problems that they have and talking about them in such a way where they can't stop reading and they take me up on my calls to action. So they reply to my email, they ask for other resources I share with them, and when I invite them to book a call, they actually go and do it. Or when I invite them to apply to work with me, they actually go and do it. And if they ever leave Facebook, they stop getting Facebook's notifications, they stop using Facebook for one reason or another, I'm still in their email inbox, assuming they haven't unsubscribed, of course, but I'm still in their email inbox. I can still message them. I can send them a personal one-on-one email, or I can send an email to my entire list that reaches everyone that's subscribed and opted in. Long term, your email list is your biggest asset. Short term, Facebook groups are an amazing way to nurture and to grow that email list. But I think it's important that you understand why you're doing Facebook groups in the first place. You're doing them to start conversations and you're doing them to build your email list. Everything in between that is extracurricular and extra credit. But when you get that middle part right, you also nurture, start conversations, and grow your business over the short, mid, and long term. This is how you get clients from your Facebook group. Now, obviously, this isn't a master class, nor do I have all the time on this show or ability to draw out all the models and give you all of the frameworks, the conversation starting tactics, the scripts and templates that we give to our Get Clients students. However, this is a really good start for you for understanding a broad stroke overview. And if you have a group, this just got you deeper in what to do. And you can always go and check out my group to understand what I'm doing, and you can model it. As long as you don't rip me off word for word, you're more than welcome to model it, emulate it, or ask me any questions on why I'm doing what I'm doing in there if it helps you grow your Facebook group. In the next episode of Client by Client, we're going to stick on this Facebook trend, but we're going to transfer and switch from talking about groups, because in the next episode, I'm going to be sharing with you how to use your Facebook profile to get clients. So even if you don't have a group, but you have a Facebook profile, we're going to talk about what to do, how to set it up in order for it to pull you new clients and to be a client generating machine for you and for your online business. Whenever you are ready, here are a few ways I can help you grow your coaching program. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox? Well, you're leaving a lot of leads and you're losing a lot of money in between the cracks and leaving leads on the table. This is why I created GetBookedCRM. Right now, it's 100% free and it lets you get leads and turn them into clients in half the time. Coaches, DM me CRM over on Instagram to get your free copy. I'm just totally butchering that because I'm looking for this thing here. So let me find this and then let's get this actually right. Yeah, there we go. And coaches, whenever you're ready, here are a few ways I can help you grow your online business. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline inside of Instagram DM, Messenger, and your email inbox? Well, you're leaving leads on the table and you're losing money between the cracks. That's why I created GetBookedCRM. It helps you get leads and turn them into clients in half the time. To get your free copy, all you have to do is grab your phone and send me the letters CRM over on Instagram to get your free copy while it's still free here in June 2023. Second, join my free group for online coaches. This is where I have just about 1,000 coaches from all over the world at varying degrees of experience. It's where I share my best weekly resources. It's where you can see exactly how I'm growing my online business and more details on the experiments that I run, and where you can be shoulder to shoulder with other coaches and other people who are just a step ahead at the same step or one baby step behind you. Coaches, to get access and get your invite, just DM me the word group or drop group wherever you're watching this, or search Leverage Coach on Facebook. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting a couple coaches together this month to implement my methods to inject 15K worth of new clients into your online business or double your client roster over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But I'm very picky about who I work with, and I'm only looking for the right people. So this is only for you if you are a relationship-focused coach who always puts the person ahead of the money. You've been coaching for at least 1 year, or you're not brand spanking new to online coaching. You'd like to get 3 to 5 clients organically every month from social media without wasting money on paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on a social media platform, members in a group, or email list subscribers. You're willing to take bold action because you know your success depends upon it. And last, but most important, you can keep a secret. If that's you, grab your phone right now, head over to Instagram, search me up at WhatUpJeremy, and message me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions, and then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the Get Clients program, how we're already helping other coaches just like you in the program with my methodologies, my frameworks, my strategies, and what part of the program will likely have the highest impact the soonest in your online business and what you can expect. Again, grab your phone, head over to Instagram, find me at WhatUpJeremy, and DM me the words case study for all the information. That's it for today's episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you guys back with another one tomorrow. Cheers. There was some parts there where I could not get my words together. I'm so thankful that I can just edit these afterwards and make them pretty and polished. If you've made it all the way through to the end, I want to know, what are your weekend plans? What do you have coming up? I'll share with you what I have coming up with mine. So drop yours in. That way I know you made it all the way to the end, and would love to just say hi to you. That's it for me, guys. Enjoy the weekend.